Hey everyone, welcome back to the Comeback Stories. I'm your name, and today I'm sharing a story that's incredibly close to my heart. A story of frustration, resilience, and turning a personal setback into something beautiful for my entire community. If you're new here, this channel is all about taking life's challenges and transforming them into moments of triumph. So hit that subscribe button and let's dive into this journey together. Picture this, a garden bursting with life. Bright pink zinnias swaying in the breeze, deep purple eggplants gleaming under the sun, and delicate monarch butterflies flitting between milkweed plants. This was my front yard, a labor of love I'd poured my heart into for years. Every morning, I'd step outside with my coffee, feel the cool dew under my feet, and smile at the little paradise I'd created. It wasn't just a garden. It was my sanctuary, a reflection of my personality, and a gift to anyone who passed by. Neighbors would stop to chat, kids would point at the sunflowers taller than them, and even the mail carrier once told me it was the highlight of her route. But then, one day, everything changed. I found a letter in my mailbox from the Homeowners Association, my HOA. I opened it, expecting maybe a reminder about trash pickup or a community event. Instead, it was a fine for my garden. My beautiful, thriving, carefully tended garden. The letter claimed it violated some obscure HOA rule about uniformity and approved landscaping. My heart sank. I felt like someone had punched me in the gut. How could something so full of life, so me, be deemed unacceptable? Let me take you back to what my garden looked like before all this. These photos show the rows of heirloom tomatoes I'd nurtured from tiny seeds, the lavender bushes that filled the air with their soothing scent, and the hand-painted signs I'd made to label each section. It wasn't just plants, it was a story. My story. The marigolds reminded me of my grandmother's garden, where I'd spent summers as a kid. The basil plants were a nod to my love for cooking fresh, homegrown meals. Every inch of that garden was personal, intentional, and alive. The HOA's reasoning? They said my garden was too eclectic and didn't match the neighborhood's aesthetic standards. Apparently, my colorful flowers and raised vegetable beds didn't fit their vision of identical green lawns and perfectly trimmed hedges. I couldn't believe it. This wasn't about safety or property values. It was about control, about stifling creativity and individuality. I stood in my yard, staring at the fine, and felt a mix of anger and disbelief. How could they not see the beauty in this? How could they punish me for creating something that brought joy to so many? I'll be honest, I was crushed. That fine wasn't just a piece of paper. It felt like an attack on my creativity, my values, and my connection to this place I called home. I spent days stewing, rereading the HOA's letter, and wondering if I should just give in, rip out my plants, and replace them with the same boring grass everyone else had. But every time I looked at my garden, I saw more than plants. I saw the hours I'd spent digging in the dirt, the joy of harvesting my first zucchini, the smiles of neighbors who'd stop by to admire it. Giving up felt like betraying all of that. Then, one evening, as I was weeding the garden, because yes, I refused to let it go, a neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, walked by with her dog. She stopped, looked at the garden, and said, "This place makes me happy every time I pass it. Don't let them take that away." Her words hit me like a bolt of lightning. I realized this wasn't just about me. It was about everyone who found a moment of joy in this garden. That's when the idea struck. What if I didn't just fight the fine? What if I went bigger? What if I turned this garden into something even more incredible? A community oasis where everyone could come together. I grabbed a notebook and started sketching. I imagined a space that wasn't just mine but ours. A place where neighbors could sit and chat, where kids could learn about plants, where we could grow food to share. I wanted it to be sustainable, beautiful, and open to everyone. The HOA wanted uniformity. I'd give them something so extraordinary they couldn't ignore it. This wasn't just about saving my garden. It was about creating a legacy, a space that would outlast me and bring people together for years to come. The transformation didn't happen overnight. It was a labor of love, sweat, and a whole lot of community spirit. I started by reaching out to my neighbors. I knocked on doors, posted on our neighborhood app, and even hosted a small meeting in my driveway to share my vision. To my surprise, people were excited. They didn't just want to help, they wanted to own this project. We formed a little crew. Mr. Rodriguez, who knew everything about irrigation, Sarah, a college student studying botany, and little Emma, who insisted on planting every sunflower seed herself. We began by redesigning the layout. My old garden was beautiful, but a bit chaotic, so we planned a more intentional space. We built raised beds for vegetables, a small pergola for shade, and a winding path lined with native wildflowers. Sustainability was at the heart of everything. We chose native plants like black-eyed Susans and coneflowers that thrived in our climate and attracted pollinators. We installed a rainwater collection system to conserve water, and Sarah taught us how to start a compost pile using kitchen scraps from the neighborhood. Every step felt like a small victory, a way of saying, we're doing this our way, and it's going to be amazing. The best part? The community came alive. People I'd never spoken to before showed up with shovels, seedlings, or just a willingness to help. One weekend, we had a planting party where everyone brought something to share, food, tools, or stories. Mr. Rodriguez brought his famous salsa, made with tomatoes from my old garden. Emma's mom baked cookies shaped like flowers. We worked, laughed, and bonded over this shared dream. I'll never forget the moment we finished the pergola. We all stood back, covered in dirt, and just grinned. It wasn't just a structure, it was a symbol of what we could do together. Sustainability wasn't just a buzzword for us. It was a commitment. The rainwater system meant we could water the garden even during dry spells without wasting resources. The compost pile turned coffee grounds and vegetable peels into rich soil. And those native plants, they didn't just look gorgeous. They supported bees, butterflies, and birds, making our yard a little ecosystem. Every choice we made was about creating something that would thrive for years, not just for us, but for the planet. The response from the neighborhood was overwhelming. People started calling it the Oasis. Kids would run through the paths, chasing butterflies. Older neighbors brought lawn chairs and sat under the pergola, swapping stories. One evening, I caught a group of teens taking selfies with the sunflowers, and I couldn't help but laugh. They were calling it Instagram-worthy. We even started a weekly harvest share, where anyone could take home fresh veggies. Seeing people leave with handfuls of kale or zucchini, smiling ear to ear, made every second of work worth it. Of course, the joy didn't stay quiet. A few weeks into the project, I got another letter. This time, they acknowledged the changes but claimed we needed formal approval for the new structures. I wasn't surprised, but I was ready. We invited the HOA board to visit the Oasis. When they saw the pergola, the paths, and the neighbors working together, even they couldn't deny its beauty. After some back and forth, they agreed to let it stay, as long as we followed a few minor guidelines. It wasn't a complete victory, but it felt like one. We'd shown them that beauty and community could coexist with their rules. Looking back, that find was one of the best things that ever happened to me. It pushed me to dream bigger, to connect with my neighbors, and to create something truly special. The Oasis isn't just a garden. It's a reminder that even when life throws obstacles your way, you can turn them into opportunities. It's a place where people come together, where creativity thrives, and where we've proven that beauty can flourish, even in the most restrictive environments. This journey taught me so much. It showed me the power of standing up for what you believe in, of turning frustration into action, and of building something that lifts everyone up. I'm so grateful for every neighbor who picked up a shovel, every kid who planted a seed, and every person who stopped by to say, "This is amazing." Together, we created something that belongs to all of us. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever faced a challenge that pushed you to create something extraordinary? Maybe you transformed your own backyard, started a community project, or found a way to bring people together. Share your stories in the comments below. I read every single one, and I can't wait to be inspired by you. Let's build a community right here on the Comeback Stories, where we celebrate resilience, creativity, and the power of coming together. If this story moved you, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button. We've got more stories of triumph and transformation coming your way, and I'd love for you to be part of this journey. Let's keep the conversation going. Together, we can create oases everywhere. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep growing, keep dreaming, and keep making a difference.